The Summer 2026 Paris Fashion Week report continues. Today, welcome to the Alexander McQueen Show. McQueen by Seán McGirr.
Hey, nice to meet you. How's it going?
FK Twigs is in the house. It's already Seán McGirr's fourth collection for Alexander McQueen.
Yeah, so cute.
Finally!
I know.
Finally!
I mean, it's really like the icons.
Hello, I'm Loic Prigent. Subscribe to the channel to see everything about fashion. This is mandatory. We're at the Tennis Club de Paris in the 16th arrondissement. The set is by Tom Scott and links to the general theme of the show. Everything is dark inside. Teepees made of ribbons. Where are we?
Basically, I started with this film. Do you know this film, The Wicker Man from 1972?
In the classic 1973 folk horror, The Wicker Man, a religious policeman ventures to an isolated Scottish island, searching for a vanished child, and encounters a cold and distant community, the fashion world, that complicates his investigation.
And then he becomes consumed by them and all hell kind of breaks loose. So that's kind of the starting point for the collection.
In attendance, we have the rapper Reggie Snow. It's your first show?
My first show.
Oh, wow.
I'm just here and I'm enjoying the energy.
Singer Susanna Son, actress Marisa Abela, and the singers of the rock band Last Dinner Party. Kai Isaiah Jamal knows Seán McGirr's work at McQueen.
Seán, every single time he brings us like elevation, he brings us drama, he brings us something sexy, and he brings us British. So yeah, I think it's gonna be a triple threat.
Noor Khan opened the show. The sharp and menacing earrings are evocative of Alexander McQueen's belief that he should adorn women with defensive jewelry. Note the very, very low-waisted skirt.
This season, I'm really like pushing the BUMSTERs.
Ah! BUMSTER is back. Paf! The BUMSTER, one of Alexander McQueen's early and iconic codes.
I really remember that silhouette.
Yeah, I mean, it's iconic.
A pair of pants that reveals the top of the cheeks of the bum. Bonjour!
It's a really like sexually charged collection, you know, so because I think there's a real kind of sexual tension in this film that I want to put forward in this collection, you know.
To Alexander McQueen, la chute des reins, the small of the back, not so much the buttocks, was the most erotic part of the body. The first BUMSTER was presented in 1993, Alexander McQueen's first collection after graduating. This collection is known as the Lost Collection, as everything was lost the night of the presentation. The BUMSTER came back on the runway for the Spring-Summer 1994 collection called Nihilism, and had the shock effect that you can imagine. Look number 2, an interpretation of an officer jacket, Napoleon style, a constant in McQueen iconography.
It's a corset, but it's a corset that's built around the neck. So instead of putting the corset around the waist, I thought it might be interesting to build it around the neck. This idea of a sort of policeman jacket, you know? Strong kind of epaulets.
The first part of the collection is navy blue. It's about the arrival of the policeman of the film The Wicker Man.
This is the kind of like a police officer uniform shirt, but then it's snatched at the waist with this sort of corset detail. So basically we've kind of deconstructed this idea of a uniform, police uniforms, like the officer, and sharpened it, you know? So snatched it and made it a bit like looser in some places. And we're really focusing on like the officier jacket as like a key piece in a lot of the collection. The film starts with this police officer, and then it goes to the narrative of the film, unfolds, everything becomes really washed and sort of lived in and kind of more f***ed up and very pagan, you know? So then a lot of the clothes have like bells on them as well. And then eventually you get into this more charged kind of energy and you become kind of consumed by nature. What happens when nature sort of like is against you?
The McQueen woman has always been ambiguous. Is she a sexy soldier, or did she steal the jacket of an officer after a riot? McQueen is a house of tailoring.
How many fittings for this one?
Oh, quite, I mean, maybe 6. For tailoring, I do a lot, yeah.
Its founder had been an apprentice at Anderson and Shepherd, one of Savile Row's most renowned traditional tailors, which dresses the British royal family. Nobody's perfect. McQueen's collections are therefore always sprinkled with cutting and tailoring prowess.
This jacket I love. Like, it's like a new kind of lapel that I developed this season. So the lapel kind of turns in on itself, like an internal drape, and then all the buttons are crushed. So there's a sort of chic sharpness about it, but at the same time, it feels kind of undone and easy, you know? And then I also have it in a kind of one button as well.
The Wicker Man's policeman is a policewoman in this world with special details such as this laced choker underneath the suit.
Created this like molded leather corset piece, you know? So yeah, it's really special, I think. Super light and super summery.
For Spring-Summer 1999, models had similar chokers, like dolls that would have been sewn up. The Spring-Summer 2026 decor has a strange folkloric cult feeling. There's tension between the warm, festive and inviting impression of the teepees and the underlying suspicion that something is off. The model's makeup is strong and their hands have been dipped in clay. We're in the tradition of Alexander McQueen's early fashion shows such as Joan of Arc, The Doll, or It's a Jungle Out There, with dark storytelling and unsettling atmospheres. The collection takes an even more sensual turn, a leather dress that slips from the shoulder, a jean ensemble that seems scratched and undone.
There's a real like energy to it, you know. Everything gets a bit more twisted and a bit more like fucked up, which I really, really love. It's always a little bit poetic and romantic, but it depends how far you go with it, you know. Like, I think it's also like I spent the whole summer going to like gigs and live music and stuff, and like seeing what all the girls and all my friends were wearing, and it's just, everything's a bit on, everything's a bit undone, a bit off, you know. And then we kind of just distressed all the ruffles and stuff to make them look like they're really old. I like this idea that clothes look really lived in and nothing looks too precious. Like things are like perfectly imperfect, you know.
There's a corset situation in it?
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Like your simple tank top is not simple.
No, exactly, yeah. I mean, it's really, really snatches you and gives you a waist. There's an ease, but then there's a real structure behind it, you know.
A sense of romance emanates from this collection. Toy soldiers forgotten in a field of flowers, embroideries from another century, damaged in the brambles.
Then this, again, like officier jackets that look like, I don't know, I like that they look really, really old and really kind of fucked up. So all the fabric has been like distressed as well. So not too perfect, you know.
Comment vous avez un peu détruit les jacquards que j'ai vu des jacquards qui avaient l'air un peu savamment abîmés?
En fait, ils les ont grattés. On a des brosses des brosses métalliques, notre outil de prédilection.
Ah ouais, c'est une brosse à dents de...
Oui, c'est une brosse à dents métallique.
How satisfying is it?
It leaves like a nice finish.
Perfectly imperfect.
Ils sont en train de faire ça.
C'est compliqué à faire ce que vous faites?
C'est juste prendre le rythme surtout, après ça va tout seul.
Comment ça se passe? Vous avez mis d'abord quelque chose au centre?
Ouais, donc on a c'est de la ficelle en fait.
Ça donne le volume.
Ouais, le volume.
Ça donne le volume et après ils viennent couvrir en fait la ficelle avec la broderie.
Et quelle est la matière de la broderie?
En fait, c'est un fil de métal. C'est un métal très très fin qui a été tourné comme ça en canotie et ça fait un tube. Ensuite, on passe notre aiguille là-dedans.
I reworked the knuckle this season as well, you know, it's like an iconic McQueen thing and it's the first time I've actually done it. And I love the idea that it sort of feels like a toy, because usually it's sort of like a kind of a precious piece of jewellery, but I always feel like it's really playful and like a toy, so I thought maybe it was more modern to sort of dip it, you know, so you see it here even in white. And then
you hold it like a...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My fingers are too fat, so I can't
Okay.
get into it, but you know, someone with chicer fingers could probably do it, you know. Maybe you could do it, I don't know.
Nature was a central inspiration in Alexander McQueen's work. As a child, he was part of a young ornithologists club, and his mother was always gardening.
The print is sort of inspired by a scene in the movie where like everything goes a bit crazy and all the ladybirds start to fornicate, like have sex. So this sort of print inspiration kind of came from that. So you can see them like on top of each other.
Ah oui, I see something obscene.
Alexander McQueen Earth Empresses have swapped their petticoats for BUMSTER cargo shorts. Their floral corsets have become cardigans, but the idea remains the same, nature reclaiming its rightful place, engulfing everything in its path.
The idea of the BUMSTER but as a chino. What does the BUMSTER like look like today? So actually it's sort of worn a bit lower, super low rise and really relaxed, but it's a little bit like kind of twisted preppy, like hard edge preppy, you know.
It's macrame, it's like...
Yeah, it's macrame here, and then these are all like hand crocheted, mixture of like leather and net, you know.
Where did you find the people who could do this relief?
We have like a good team, and the team is really good, yeah.
Là, on collabore aussi un petit peu avec le knitwear. On leur a construit une structure avec des baleines. Ils viennent coudre les petites fleurs sur la structure. Et là, c'est que du tricot, c'est tricoté, puis après, ils positionnent les fleurs et ils les assemblent minutieusement.
Which one is your favorite?
I think these ones, just I love the colours of them, and they're easy to slot in everywhere.
Moi, j'aime bien le petit pompon en cuir. Et en fait, là, c'est sur les manches. Après ça, ça va s'assembler comme ça. On va constituer un top. Donc, du coup, là, c'est les manches. Là, on a le dos et la fermeture et le devant. La tête qui passe ici.
Basically, the concept is like I was saying, what happens when you become consumed by nature? Like when it starts to kind of take over you. And then the skirt is like this wash kind of cotton skirts, like super low rise. And then these are a new kind of hoof mule as well that we worked into. So.
The romantic side of the collection is counterbalanced by a hard and chilling one, Victorian romanticism. This is not a house for happy endings. If you're looking for a musical set in a field of daisies, you have come to the wrong place. Tops are ripped open, letting skin show. Passage 39, Silhouette 39, a vision of blood and mud on a creature that seems to have endured a night of terror. Makeup smudged, arms tightened in the same position as in the Spring 99 collection.
It's like printed fringe lace. It has a real energy to it, so. It's a bit like what happens when nature sort of goes evil, you know, it turns against you, which I really like.
The further the collection progresses, the more the model's makeup runs, like charcoal that has been rained on. Are they witches or victims? This is a question that has haunted the shows of this House of McQueen. McQueen wanted to illustrate the ambiguous position women occupy, never neutral. Clothes were a way of giving women armor, magical powers, perhaps a little courage. Look 22, a coordinated top and skirt in chains of metals, which reminds us the Joan of Arc of the fall 1998 collection.
On a construit une structure interne, on a reçu la broderie, on a cousu la broderie et après on a posé la broderie sur la structure. Et la robe étant très lourde, donc on a fait une structure avec des bonnets, etc. pour supporter le poids de la broderie.
C'est une armure quoi.
Voilà, exactement. Moi je l'appelle William Wallace. C'est une armure de combat.
Ah oui, c'est des chaînes.
Exactement.
Ah mais elles sont très légères hein, individuellement.
Non, c'est léger. Mais après, l'ensemble, ça a son pesant. Regarde, essaie de porter, tu vas voir.
Vas-y. Ah oui, vous avez des bons bras.
On a quand même facile 5 kilos, 5-6 kilos. Ouais, facile.
8.
Oui, voilà. On a fini de monter le petit top. Et puis là, ils veulent les broderies plus longues. Au départ, la broderie s'arrêtait là. Et du coup, les filles là sont en train de compléter le modèle.
Elina Gunawardena clothed the show.
C'est combien de métrages de tissu dans ces robes-là?
This one.
21.
21 meters of wonder, a parachute of silk, and McQueen loves a good parachute.
But I like this kind of corset that goes around the neck, and then everything is really free and like wild, you know.
What is the feeling?
I feel like a goddess, but literally.
Is it heavy or light?
Not at all, not at all.
The fabric is this like silk kind of parachute tailoring, you know. So, and then the boots I'm really excited about. They're actually from an archive shoot, but we built this sort of corset language around it this season, you know. So earrings are like pagan stones, you know, in the ground, like you know, Stonehenge in England. So really it comes from that. And then I did it in like necklaces as well. So it's like if you want to like have a fight with your boyfriend, you can really do some damage, I think.
Oh la la.
Not that you would, you know.
You are a goddess. You are a goddess. Don't
Goddess with
yeah.
with thorns,
Yeah.
but in the most beautiful way.
But they're light, right? They're not heavy.
Very light, yeah.
So practical.
Like a cloud following the model, touching the legs of the audience, passing through like a spell. And poof, it's over. Voila, this was my McQueen report for Spring Summer 2026 by Seán McGirr. Comment I'm a proud witch if you got till the end, subscribe to the channel if you want to see everything about fashion.